Time for an update. So I've been really having a hard time getting motivated and doing stuff that I want to be doing and being creative and producing and all that sort of stuff. And it's good to take breaks and it's good to have downtime, but it's been hard to get moving on a lot of that stuff. And so I've kept this pinned up here. This is from Austin Kleon. This is how to keep going in terms of a creative process. It's from his new book. This is a fantastic list. You should totally go check it out. And so I started with this guy, number 8, because why not start at 8? When in doubt, tidy up. So over here, I've been frustrated. It's about removing frustrations, right? I've been frustrated by my storage for my sewing machine. This is where it is. It's in my small parts storage. And I've got it as close to the top as you possibly can. There's like 2 millimeters of clearance in there. But there's all this space below it because the shelf is just a flat shelf. Well, it's not flat anymore. I built an inset drop-down box for it to take up that space. It's holding manuals for the sewing machine and for the vinyl cutter. And I feel finally a little bit better about some dead storage. It's a place to put stuff that I'm always looking for. So that's been really nice. It's a small but meaningful improvement. Next up, I did a little bit of patch experimentation. So I tried to do a patch like this. This is made the same way I make my tags for a lot of my sewn projects. It's like a NASA style tag. So I had done this just like normal. And I thought instead of stitching it around the edge and putting it on Velcro, that I would just use some self-adhesive, like ultra heavy duty industrial Velcro to stick this directly on. And while it seems to hold up pretty okay, it doesn't lift in the corners or anything like that. I gotta, and it's fine. It works, obviously. I'm not thrilled by the aesthetics. I don't know if it's the lack of the border or the lack of heft or like whatever. I should like this because it's very lightweight and very clean and very durable, and a lot less fickle to make than some of the other stuff I've done. But for whatever reason, the aesthetic, I don't know if I need to draw a border on here or like stitch a decorative border, but stitching a decorative border seems like cheating. I don't know. I'm not real into that particular part of this. Anyway, I'm not thrilled with this so far, but this was an experiment. And what often happens when you do stuff like this is that it leads to the next experiment, and maybe that is one that gets you some ground. While we're over here, I did a little bit of work. I've been fascinated by GoAir trunks. This is a piece of fake, like this is like vinyl, like faux leather or whatever for upholstery. And GoAir does this great painted on pattern, and it looks sort of like this up here. And I was just sort of experimenting with using paint pens and some stencil. These are not stenciled; these are basically freehanded. And I was getting like okay results here. I get some smudging down here if it gets abraded at all. I had thought about doing an entire bike seat, painting out this pattern over a big sheet, and then wrapping a bike seat with it and having like a really, really sweet looking bike saddle. But if it gets abraded, it won't put up with the abrasion on it. The paint's just not that durable in that way. I did do a test with a bit more color and a bit different. Like this is the actual like density of that pattern for real. And I think it came out looking really nice. And I'm sure I'll find something to do with this. It's not going to be on a bike saddle, and that's okay. So anyway, so that's a little test, and that's nothing more than like again, like upholstery vinyl. Essentially, it looks like leather. It's very soft, but it's clearly artificial. And then some paint markers, and that's the jam right there, and that's a pretty appealing looking result. I did have a little bit better luck making another patch for my bag. It's this guy over here, and it's that number 13 that I've got on there. Actually, both of those are handmade. This guy over here is an older one. This guy is a much newer one. This is the new one I did. That's hand done. I used my vinyl cutter to cut a stencil for it that adhered to the fabric, and then I painted within that. And I gotta say, it's crisp looking. It's still clearly handmade with the shading and all of that, but I really, really like the way that came out. Now, look, if you're one of those people that's asking, why'd you make the number 13, and why'd you make the number 13 upside down? Well, here, let me tell you. Where am I going? In bike racing, the number 13 is an unlucky number to get for your jersey numbers in a race. And if you get it, you're supposed to put 2 copies of that on the back of your jersey, like on your pockets. And the way you get rid of the bad luck, allegedly, is that you take one of your 13s and flip it over so it's upside down. I guess we're still recording. And so this is a homage to that. This is the unlucky 13 made lucky once again. And I like that idea of something being unlucky and then made lucky again. So I did that, and that came out way better than I thought. And so that led to this next bit, which is a new project that I'm working on over here, which is this. I'm going to try doing a bike-focused blog. I've always felt like I've always liked to talk about bikes and write about bikes, but I've always felt really like it's very indulgent for me to do that. But I think at this point, I'm ready to just give into those tendencies, to just let myself ramble and talk and write and take photos and videos and all that sort of stuff of bike stuff. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm gonna do that. And that banner up at the top, I think, is meant as homage to that. And the first post is up. I got more to come. URL for it, in case you care, is that guy right there. It's a little unusual, but it'll do the trick, I think. So anyway, in this particularly unproductive time of year and just spell that I've been going through, I finally got enough juice going to sort of do some of this stuff, and I wanted to share that with you and talk about what I've been doing and the trouble of sort of getting motivated and getting stuff moving again. And so yeah, if you're in the same spot, if you're thinking, God, this winter's never going to end, and spring is like sort of here, but it's definitely not really here. This is just me trying to muddle my way through this awkward time of year. So anyway, thanks for watching. It's glad to be back, and yeah, nice to be here.